Hello YouTube, I'm back with another video. This weekend I had my first in-person event. Went well, got to meet a bunch of cool people, just see how the live Pokemon shows go in general. Really fun event, some key takeaways. I'll film a more in-depth video going through it when I get home so I can do a little bit more editing. But today I kind of just want to do a quick video showing some recent sales, talk about some key points there, and then show you what I'm buying at the moment because if you're paying attention to the market, a lot of things are coming down in price. And I would like to say that that is major opportunity, not something to be fearful of. We're seeing a bunch of, so as prices go higher, which we were seeing kind of like relentless everything going higher for like a few months, the first like 3-4 months of this year. The Pokemon boom, everything was going higher. And that is going to happen when nobody's willing to list cards and everybody's willing to buy. So you have cards get repriced from $10 cards to $50 cards, and nobody wants to sell as we're going up. And then eventually you run out of buyers and you end up accumulating a lot of sellers that didn't sell at 50, and now that the card is 40, they want to sell, but guess what? There's no buyers. So 40 doesn't sell, so they lower it to 35, and they lower it to 30, and they lower it to 25, and then buyers start entering the market, and you find new price floors. And I think a lot of cards are going through that at the moment. So I'm going to show you some cards that I'm buying and we'll be sending off for grading that I think are really good opportunities at the moment and just good opportunities, period, moving forward. Over a long enough time horizon, a lot of these cards will gradually trend higher. And I would like to say too to anybody watching these videos, I'm going to try to impart whatever wisdom I can on you that I've just learned in my own journey, working with and being a part of the Pokemon community, Pokemon card community. Sealed product is a really strong long-term investment. A lot of the PSA graded stuff can be good long-term investment as well, definitely, but sealed is tough to beat over the long run. In many cases, you're going to be better off with sealed product, and so I would advise trying to build some version of sealed collecting that you can buy and put away. So I'll give you an example of how I'm going to attempt to do this myself, so that I can have some sealed product that just sits, and I plan on not touching or moving it for a very long time. Give it at least a 10-year time horizon to try to bake and turn into a lot more than what it is today. It's one of the best sets, so it's tough to compare other things to this, but you think about like Team Up, that's 6 years old. It was released in 2019 or in 2025 now, and a booster box of Team Up goes for about $7,000 US. And it would have cost you, a couple $100 at the time in 2019. People didn't want it at the time. Now everybody wants it, right? Everybody's chasing the Latias, or, everybody wants it. So because you can get that card out of that set, that booster box goes for $7,000. So, that's pretty incredible return on investment over a 6-year time horizon. Certain things like, for example, Pokemon 151, and I'll show you my recent orders on my eBay account here, or my recent purchases, sorry. So I'll go to my eBay. It will go to recent purchases. I'll show you one of the most recent purchases I made was this lot of 10 Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 151 booster bundles. I spent $1,400 on it, so it comes to about $70 per booster bundle. I got 20 of them, and I think these, over a long enough time horizon, give it 10 years, 6 years, like Team Up, will be significantly higher than where they are now. You have to let people open the product. One of the things I saw at the show was that sealed is in high demand. People are really interested in buying sealed product. And sounds like from the majority of buyers I was saying buying sealed that a lot of people buy it to rip it open. There was a streamer at the event that was buying a bunch of sealed product to be able to open on his stream. Because all that stuff is so popular, a lot of the sealed product is going to end up getting opened. So 6 to 10 years from now, as Pokemon goes through a new, full boom and bust cycle, back to a new boom cycle, we're going to see certain, sets from this era. A lot of the Scarlet and Violet era has been incredible. That's created some amazing sets. I think Pokemon 151 is like a very obviously amazing set. People love the cards. They love the original 151 Pokemon. They love the style, the illustration rares. So it's, one of the most unique sets from this era. And you have some fantastic chase cards. You have huge value, pulling out of this set. So I think this set will continue to have demand, through the future. And so I think building a long-term strategy on this is really nice. So my strategy, I'm going to be going to Card Party in October, the one in Seattle. And I wanted, for the live show, I'm going to be a vendor, I wanted to have a little bit more sealed products, seeing how well sealed sold at the last event I went to this weekend. And so I have this booster bundle, 20 booster bundles of Pokemon 151 on the way. At shows, you can mark things up a little bit. So I paid $70 for them here. That's about market. I'm going to try to sell them for $100 a piece at the show. I will do my best to sell 14 for $100 a piece and get my money back. And then the other 6, I'll, leave at home. And then I can hold those guilt-free, indefinitely. That's kind of my strategy. And if I can do that, rinse and repeat that, I can build a long-term Pokemon strategy that allows me to hold sealed product over a long period of time, because I get my initial investment back out pretty quickly by being able to sell at these live events. And that's just one strategy. You can wait for the market to gradually reprice it. You can wait for these to be worth 100 on eBay and, try to do deals that way. eBay's going to take some fees, so it makes it a little bit tougher to accomplish this goal on eBay. I think sealed is a lot more successful with the margins if you're selling in person at shows. So something to think about. But I just wanted to talk about that because I think over the longer time horizons, 6 to 10 year time horizons, I think it's very tough to beat sealed product because people are just so eager to open things, especially nowadays. Is very fast-paced, rip and ship, fast, immediate gratification culture that we have. People don't have the patience to be able to hold, things over the long run. Okay, the other thing I can mention briefly is that Pikachu promos are always in demand. I've had these up for less than a week. The first 24 hours, I sold all my PSA 10s. Over the last week, I've sold all my PSA 9s for $25 a piece. They've just flown off my eBay store, and they're a fantastic card, and it's just kind of goes to show the strength of Pikachu promos. I think as far as PSA slab investment, Pikachu promos are one of the best investments to make. I also just sold this for $55. Unigaba Pikachu. These have been trading pretty sideways for a long time, and I think they're so unique. I think it's such a good card. I actually, I have 83 PSA 10s of this card, which is kind of incredible, and a good chunk of 9s as well. I bought these back when they first came out for like $18 a piece. And I've moved a good amount of them, but I still hold a good chunk of them. and I plan on continuing to hold them until they're worth closer to 500 a piece in PSA 10. They're like 130 to 140 at the moment in a PSA 10, and I think that they can be worth 3 or 4 times that within the next few years. I think they've been sideways for a while. I think they're so unique, such a good card, Pikachu promo, that I think my plan is to bag hold these for quite a bit longer. Markets love to go sideways for a long time and then they mark up really quickly. I don't know if you've seen, but the Kanazawa Pikachus have kind of pumped recently, and they were sideways at $100 for a long time, and then they marked up to like $200 pretty quickly. So I'll be holding on to my PSA 10 copies of these, but I'm selling my PSA 9s here at 60. So yeah, Pikachu promos, very, very good. Okay, the last thing I wanted to cover today is just some cards that I'm buying. I think 151 Charizard, amazing card. I picked up a mint copy of this. I always look for individuals that say specifically that they pulled this from a pack within the last week or two. Fresh pack cards, it's almost as if you're opening it yourself. You have a little bit of risk in transit, but usually people package their stuff well and they get it to you in mint condition. And then you don't have to, blindly open $1,000 worth of booster packs to try to get a $180 card. You can just buy the $180 card. I know it's more boring that way. It's not as fun, but it's a lot more like a business than trying to just blindly open, hoping that you'll get a card like this. That's also in mint condition too, and is very well centered and has a clean back, so you get to kind of scope that out and see a little bit more of the details ahead of time before making your buying decision. So I think it's really valuable to use this as a tool to be able to try to find PSA 10 quality cards before they get graded. Do the grading yourself. This is $700 in a PSA 10, so you have a $500 spread there. And if you get a PSA 9, it's still worth about $200. So you really are only risking the grading fee. And that is something that I don't think many people realize about doing this. You still have the card even if it gets a PSA 9. It's not like you're losing $200 if it gets a PSA 9. You're losing $20 if it gets a PSA 9. If it gets a PSA 10, you're making $500. That's pretty nice. And then this individual I actually talked about in my last video. We ended up doing a really nice deal. It's not just this Murkrow for $675. I'll show you the listing. We did a unique deal. He was selling off his collection, and he let me look at the cards in advance, pick out the ones that I wanted before he listed the rest of them, and I just found the ones that I like, that were well-centered, that looked like in mint condition, and so this whole deal was for $675. And all of these cards, I think, are just at good places to buy. These are already getting priced pretty low. They've come off majorly. It's not like a $20 card. I think it's like $7 card or something at this point, which is really nice. So I feel like I can already start buying those. This Eevee is down to like 55 or 60. The Gloom is like 15 if you want to get a mint condition copy. The Misty Psyduck is a little bit overpriced, but that's okay. I love this card, beautiful card. And this one's in great condition, really well centered. This Ghastly, amazing. I saw the back on this one is pristine. I think this has a great chance to be a PSA 10. If this 10s, I'll be holding this for a long time. I think this is one of the best cards of this era. The Execute, great condition, very good centering. The Chansey, I think this Chansey is a great card to pick up. You have Blissey, Snorlax, Bellsprout, Psyduck, Ditto, and the Chansey. Getting the work done in the Pokemon Center. I thought, such a good card. And it's come way down. The Squirtle, these 151 starters are always going to be a good buy, in my opinion. I picked up this Magikarp. Very good centering. The back looks clean. These, the print quality on them were so low, or were so poor, that the raw card goes for like 170, 160, 170. And I don't know how accurate this is, but I saw a vendor have his PSA 10 listed for 3,000 at the show. I'd have to check eBay listings. I haven't checked in a little while. But the markup on the PSA 10 for this, because the print quality was so poor, is just incredible. So I picked this up, and then I picked up the Bubble Mew. And this one's a little bit off center, but the quality is so clean. The back is so clean on this. That to me, it was, these little dots are on the screen, not on the card. It was so worth it. So, and again, like you're risking the cost of the card, or you're risking the grading fee, not the cost of the card, right? So this is like a $340 card raw. And I can sell this at a show, or I can sell this, in a bunch of different ways, but I'd like to try to grade it first. It's a pristine mint copy of this card. I'd like to try to grade it first and see if I can't turn it into a PSA 10 that goes for like $1,000. So, that's the game I like to play. This, coming from one seller where I can pick up a good amount of cards, all for $675. I would say the value, is probably closer to $720, $740. Getting it for $675. Good deal for me. All mint copies. Send them off for grading. See how we do, and work on getting my $675 out of these, plus the grading fees, out of these cards as quickly as I can once I get them back, and then holding some of the best stuff long term. If this Magikarp gets a 10, I'm holding this long term. I'd sell everything else to get my money back. Kind of same idea with the Mew. If the Mew gets a 10, I'll be holding it and selling everything else to get my money back out. I think some people would be quick to want to sell their best stuff. The best stuff usually continues going higher. I sold a copy of Latios in a PSA 10 for $800 because I bought it raw for $80, and I thought it was, 10xing my money. Fantastic. A few years later, it's worth $7,000. So, hold your best stuff. Sell the cheaper stuff if you're going to sell stuff, and try to build that long-term Pokemon strategy. I think these are assets that people don't appreciate enough. They're finite. There's a huge market for them that's only growing. It's one of the best brands in the world, if not the best brand in the world, as far as unique IP and a collector base. So yeah, those are the topics I wanted to touch on in today's video. I saw this channel got its first unique subscriber, so thank you very much. Please, if you're still watching, like, subscribe. I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep working on growing this channel. I'm still very new, so the video content is very poor, but I will work on getting it better, and I hope I can provide good information to the people that are watching. All right, till the next one. Peace.